Hello folks, how are you doing? So, I'm going to share something with you. I was doing a session today and the whole Trump thing came up, and President Trump thing, and about someone's difficulty with the result. And that energy is still out there. There's a grief out there, there's a rage out there, there's a anger out there, there's fear out there. And can I just say at this point, there is nothing wrong with any feeling or emotion. Feelings and emotions are a natural, normal part of processing things. So when we say to someone, you shouldn't be feeling that, or try to think positive, or you need to come to terms with that or get over it, it's actually a human's way of purging and making sense of. And for some people, it can take a long time. Anyway, my guides came in and gave me this technique. It wasn't for me, it was for someone that I was speaking to. And it was this. Think of Trump in this circumstance. So it's a famous person that you are hugely triggered by. So you think of Trump and then you say to your guide, your higher self, show me the person that this person, i.e. Trump or whatever, represents in my personal life, past, present, future, and see what comes up. Is it your ex-husband, your ex-boss, your ex-headmaster that abused you? Straight away their face will come up and their name will come up. That's where the wounding is. And I was like, that is hugely powerful, because how many times do we get hugely triggered by somebody on the world stage? Hugely triggered. I was then given another download, and this is how it came through, that Trump is part of a portal that needed to be opened for people to deal with raw grief and pain, suppressed emotions. Now, I'm not saying that Trump the person thinks he's doing that, but every single person on this planet has a mission. That's where we come to Earth. And they can all come in different bodies. And a lot of the world stage stuff is actually portals for us to have these experiences. You could have somebody that's famous, like an older person that dies, and somebody will start to cry and it will remind them of when their granny died. You could have somebody that dies, say they're similar age to your parent and they die, and that can remind you of when your parent died, and you can find yourself sobbing with tears and you've no idea why, because you weren't actually a big fan. An example of that is the death of Diana, Princess of Wales. The raw grief, the portal, are very similar things, but in a very different way, obviously. Do you catch my drift? So try that technique today and trace it back. There's a thing in shamanism where we trace things and we ask things, questions. So then you're going to sit in that meditation and ask why. Get comfortable with it. I want to know why. I want to know what I can do to help myself. And you'll find it's got nothing to do with the person. Yes, you may not agree with someone's politics. That's fine. That, again, is a normal, natural being human. We've all got different outlooks. But I just thought that was really, really interesting, because ultimately, all of these situations within our world, they are portals. Even the portal of war hanging over people brings things up for people, suppress things in relation to past lives where you've died in war, in relation to generational trauma, in relation to grandparents, great-great-grandparents, and etc. that experienced war. So everything we experience on the global stage, rather than going into fight or flight, yes, it is fight or flight, it's about going higher with it. And that's how we can transition and move through these things in a much more healthy, balanced way, where they don't own us. Because isn't it exhausting when somebody famous comes on the telly and we move? I've been there, done that. Good t-shirt. But it's becoming a dis-ease within humanity. And it's actually not about the famous person, it's about what the famous person represents. It's the portal that they're opening up. It could be somebody on the world stage that's female, and she represents the girl at school that used to bully you, or the female teacher that bullied you, or the mother that bullied you. It's interesting. So I thought I'd share that with you today, and hopefully it helps. Also, as well, it's a technique you can do with any famous person. It's not just about Trump. But it's a technique that you can use in your own lives as well, when maybe you come across somebody that you don't really know much about, but you meet them and for some reason they give you the ick, or they give you fear, or you just, the minute you meet them, because there'll possibly be a past life there. And again, you sit in meditation and ask, because as we go forward with these new energies, we're going to have to become more and more like alchemists, energetic alchemists, and more responsible and taking responsibility for what we're feeling, and not just out into the world, if that makes sense. Because at the minute what happens is we have a ball of pain within us, and rather than sitting with it, dealing with it, alchemizing it and processing it, we pass it on to somebody else, which is why we feel the need to tell somebody something. It's almost like a ball that's passed along. And the more that ball is passed along, the bigger it gets. This isn't about not speaking to someone, but it's about how we deal with that ball of stuff. Because as we go into 2025, we're going to be required more and more to alchemize our stuff in a much more healthier way than what we have been doing in the past. So, and it got me, shall I make a promise that I cannot keep? Oh, I do lots of that, especially in relation to video content. Right. I'm thinking tomorrow, because I've been quite busy doing 150,000 tarot scopes and client sessions. Should I do let me ponder this, I'll ponder it on camera and in my head, to do a bigger video about this subject and pulling some cards on it. Who knows? If I'm going to do it, I'll do it tomorrow, and it'll be on next week or something. So, yes, thank you for watching. Please do like, comment, share and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.